Welcome to RevengeReelz. My name is Sara Collins, I'm 38, and this story starts with a phone call from the family lawyer. One sentence that split my life in half. Your father's estate has a condition attached. You'll want to hear it in person. My father passed 3 months ago. A complicated man. Kind to strangers, cold to his own family. The kind of man who believed love was earned through performance. So when the lawyer said condition, I already knew. There was always a test. Always a hoop to jump through for affection that never came freely. At the meeting, my brother Mark and stepmother Diane sat across from me. Mark smirked like he already knew something I didn't. Diane looked like she'd been practicing sympathy in the mirror. The lawyer adjusted his glasses. Mr. Collins left 3 properties, 2 trust funds, and 1 conditional directive. The clause states that before Sara can access her inheritance, she must fulfill 1 requirement. Mark leaned back, smiling. Let me guess. Dad wants her to forgive everyone and reunite the family? The lawyer hesitated. Not exactly. He opened a folder and read, Sara must visit the property at 41 Lakeview and open the sealed letter left in her name, alone. The contents of that letter determine her final access. Diane's eyebrows rose. He left her a letter? Yes, the lawyer said quietly, and only her. The room went still. Mark rolled his eyes. He's probably leaving her guilt in an envelope. Maybe he was right, but I went anyway. 2 days later, I drove to Lakeview. The house was my childhood home, abandoned now, wrapped in silence and dust. Every step creaked with memory. Every wall smelled like old arguments and furniture polish. On the kitchen table sat a plain white envelope. My name written in his precise all-caps handwriting, Sara. My hands shook. Not from fear, from recognition. That handwriting used to appear on birthday cards that always came with lectures. Be better, do more, try harder. I sat down, broke the seal, and unfolded a single sheet of paper. Sara, if you're reading this, you outlived my pride. You were always the strongest, the one who saw through the performance. This house is yours, if you do one final thing. Forgive your brother. Not for him, but for yourself. And if you can't, I understand. You'll still inherit the lake property, but he will not. Choose wisely. I trust you now, even if I never said it. I just stared. He gave me the one thing I wanted my whole life. Control. I could choose grace or justice. And then I saw the postscript, scrawled at the bottom in a hurry. If Mark tries to manipulate this, call the lawyer immediately. I left instructions. I folded the letter slowly, knowing exactly what that meant. By the time I returned to the city, my brother had already called 5 times. When I didn't pick up, he showed up at my door. Come on, Sara, let's be adults, he said, grinning too wide. Dad wouldn't want us fighting. I can help you with the estate. Just sign this transfer, okay? He slid a paper across my table. A legal release form. He didn't even bother hiding it. I smiled. Give me a pen. He exhaled, relieved. Finally, you're being reasonable. But the pen wasn't for signing. It was for recording. Because the letter had 1 more page I hadn't told him about, an instruction to document every attempt of manipulation. When he leaned in, whispering, "We both know you don't want the burden of Dad's estate," I pressed record. 3 minutes later, I had everything I needed. Audio, timestamp, signature request, all of it. The next morning, I called the lawyer. Mr. Collins anticipated this, he said calmly. Would you like to proceed with Clause 2? Clause 2? He opened a file. If your brother attempts coercion, his portion of the estate transfers automatically to the foundation your father created for you. My breath caught. What? Yes. Your father built a trust for you and your daughter. It activates only under proof of betrayal. I hung up and sat in silence. It wasn't about money anymore. It was about seeing the truth laid bare. A week later, Mark found out the accounts were closed. He called screaming. You think you're better than us now? I just said, no, Mark. I think I finally see you clearly. He spat something cruel, something about family loyalty. but loyalty without respect is just a leash. That night, I took my daughter Lily down to the lake. We watched the sunset from the dock, wind brushing our faces. She asked, "Mom, was Grandpa mean to you?" I looked at her small hands holding mine. "He was complicated," I said, "but he gave me one final gift." "What gift?" "The chance to break the pattern." She smiled, and the world went quiet in that sacred kind of peace that only comes after years of noise. As the water shimmered gold, I realized something. Forgiveness isn't letting someone back in. It's letting yourself walk away without the weight. I didn't inherit a house. I inherited closure. And that's worth more than anything he could have written in his will.